arrived at Cloudland Canyon State Park here in the northwest corner of Georgia for the first of what will hopefully be many adventures in backpacking, camping, hiking, and we'll see what this new phase of my life has to offer. I will see what I can do about updating, posting some good videos and pictures of the views and things I encounter along the way, and we'll just see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be fun and exciting for myself and anyone who wants to share this with me. Well, I've successfully made the hike from the parking lot to my campsite for the next 2 days. So just taking a quick look around here. We've got obviously the picnic bench and table that is a nice amenity to have. Saves me from sitting on the ground. Over here, I believe we've got the pad area for setting up my tent. Looks like it might have a little bit of a nice overlook view from here. I did pass a creek along the way, so I know there's water nearby. Got a fire pit up here by the picnic table as well. If I want to gather some wood and have a fire this evening, though as warm as it may be, I don't know if I will or not. And then one bonus amenity, I don't know if you can see it there up the trail just a little bit, we have an outhouse. So I've got privy access not too far from the camp, so saves me from having to do those cat holes in the middle of the night. So we'll get set up here, figure out what sort of exploring I'm going to do this week, and we'll check in later. Well, here's where I have successfully made my first water collection, and we'll filter it appropriately, of course, but nice little trickle here, fresh water, not a bunch of sediment. Empties into this nice little calm spot before it continues on. So another milestone completed. Well, good morning. I've survived my first night backpack camping, and it went very well. After backpacking in last night and getting to my campsite, I did a little exploration of the backcountry loop, which takes me around to all of the different backcountry campsites before making my way back to my site for my evening's dinner preparations and quiet time. I have I think the most isolated of the backcountry campsites, and it was a very, very quiet, very peaceful night. A lot of time to just kind of think to myself and assess how this whole thing's going to work out. So far, so good. No major incidents to derail this adventure. So I have been up for a couple hours. I've had my breakfast. I've had my morning ablutions, and I'm all packed up and ready for today's adventures. So we've got a couple of loops that I want to try out today. Should get me quite a bit of mileage on the hiking, and then make my way back here. So let's see if I can get this to show you properly on the trail. So if I have this correct, this is where my campsite is. My plan today is to do the Bear Creek Backcountry Trail, and then make my way over across to a couple of the falls here, Hemlock Falls and Cherokee Falls, before then doing the afternoon run of the West Rim Loop Trail, and then making my way back to camp for dinner and my evening relaxation and recovery. So thanks for sharing this with me if you are along for the journey, and we'll check in along the way. Well, I've made it to the trailhead for the Bear Creek Trail Loop after a small detour because I had to go back to the parking area to get some honey out of my car that I had gotten when I got my breakfast yesterday on the way up to the state park. But without thinking it through, I forgot to include that in my backpack when I loaded up to head out to the campsite. So, small detour today so that I can have that with my lunch this afternoon. And now we're about to head off down the trail there to see what's along Bear Creek Trail Loop. We'll see you along the way. Well, I've made it to the first branch point. You can see here I've reached the point where the Bear Creek Trail branches off to the Overlook Trail. So I'm going to be continuing down Bear Creek Trail until I loop back and take the Overlook Trail. And I know the video quality here is probably not the best and whatnot, and I'm not taking any while I'm hiking, but that's because I'm just using my phone. I don't have a GoPro. And who knows, you know, this keeps up, maybe I'll get better gear and get more practice at this. But for now, bear with me, and we'll check in again. Since I'm not what people like to see on trails, but the trail itself, here's a view from the first stretch of the Bear Creek Trail Loop. Lots of green here in the middle of the summer in Georgia. And off down the trail we go. Well, I think I've reached one of the bottom points of the loop, and here's a lovely little creek, river as it were, creek, stream, to give me a nice refreshing stop point to see the beauty that is here in Cloudland State Park. Yeah, Cloudland Canyon State Park. Can't talk. Need some water. Well, the down and back up from that stream about did me in. Taking a little breather here, and wanted to let you all know that I had a little bit of a surprise when I wandered down the stream, or upstream a little bit, and got to the point where the trail crosses it. I think I surprised myself, and I surprised the young couple that I came upon, who was in the let's just say they were experiencing nature in its purest form. Nothing sexual, just they were enjoying a nice dip in the water in their birthday suits. And well, they were surprised, I was surprised. They ducked for cover, their dog came to see me, and I made my way across the water. But got across there, let them back to enjoying their spot in seclusion, and made my way up the far side. Got a little bit off trail because I was distracted, trying to exit the area as chivalrously as I could, and upslope about halfway I veered off on what I thought was the trail, but I apparently missed the trail marker. After probably a good 200 yards off trail, when the going was a little bit more treacherous than I thought it should have been, I realized that maybe I should double check my navigation, saw that I was off trail, made my way back, and continued up the ascent to the, well, not quite all the way to the top of the far side of the little canyon there, but found most of the way up to this nice rock that I can take a little rest on and give you guys that update. More later. Well, stopping and take another little breather. If nothing else, this is showing me that I have got to do a lot more conditioning to get in shape if I'm going to be serious about doing these hikes. I'm not quite back up to the elevation that I started the hike, or at least at the top of the trail, but I'm mostly there. But I found a rock, another rock, that just called out for me to stop, sit, and get some water, because I have been losing hydration rapidly. So this is giving me a chance to catch my breath, rest the legs for a moment, and get a drink. The trail's still lovely. You can see it on up the way there, and kind of back the way I've came, but still enjoying it. Just got to know your limitations and act accordingly. So, about to get started again, and we'll check in later. Well, this trail has proven to be more of a challenge than I anticipated, but I have finally reached the loop part of it. So there behind me you can see where one side of the loop comes in, and there you can see the other. So all that I've done so far was just the spur to get to the loop. I'm gonna die. Well, thought I'd give you all a little view, what you can see through the trees down into the canyon itself. So it's still seeing if I can find the best overlook view on this loop. I've heard on the reviews that there's some good views down in the canyon. Hoping that maybe just a little ways further up the trail I might see that. This is the view from the other end of the rock ledge along the stream as I headed back up the spur after attempting to do the loop. Well, I'm most of the way back to camp. I completed a partial loop of the Bear Backcountry Trail loop. Had some good views of the canyon, nothing that was really going to take on the camera with either video or picture because too many trees in the way between myself and the view, but I could make it out, and I really enjoyed that. Found a nice spot where I had my lunch, and then have made the way back along the strenuous stretch back once again to this stream, the base of the canyon here. And I am going to take a few minutes just to rest, relax, take my shoes off and soak them in the water, my feet, not my shoes, my feet in the water for a little bit to recover some before the final ascent back up to meet up with the loop to my campsite. I think I had, my plans today were a little bit more ambitious than my means of accomplishing them, but I'm still okay and satisfied with what I did do. It was a good self-assessment of what my capabilities are, and also a lesson to make sure you read all trails first and remember what the difficulty rating of the trail you attempt is. Doing a hard trail for your first try, not the way to go. But I'm surviving, I'm still got a smile on my face, and we'll make the best of all of this. Check in again later. I met this lovely fellow, a 3-foot long copperhead as I neared the top of the final ascent back to the end of the trail. He and I both kept our cool, exchanged pleasantries, and we went on our separate ways. Well, good morning again. Sorry about no video for the evening time. I was wiped out after the strenuous hike I did yesterday. Got back to camp, rested for a little bit, fixed my dinner, pretty much collapsed in my tent. So it was a quiet night, and I got some good rest. Feeling a lot better this morning. All packed up, as you can see here. If I get my camera right. So all packed up, ready to head out from the campsite. Leave no trace, and it's all good. And head back to the car. Gonna be heading over to check out a couple of the other trails that I didn't get to yesterday before heading back home. So gonna hike out to the car, load the pack up in there, drive over to the trailheads for the couple of the other trails. Hopefully get a chance to get some good views of the waterfalls, and then we will conclude this little adventure. So I'll check in along the way. Well, I made it back to the parking spot. Got the pack here in the back of the van. Nice to take a load off. Heck of a way to start the day with about 1 mile all uphill heading from the campsite back to the parking. So gonna rest up, drive over to the trailhead for the overlook view to get some good sights of the waterfall. So we'll check in. Well, I've made it my way to the main overlook of the canyon, and you know what? I think it was a view worth coming and checking out. You tell me what you think. Pretty impressive. Glad I made this little sidetrack. Okay, I've made my way to the other end of the Overlook Trail, and yeah, this view's pretty good too. Let's see, we'll go this way. Not upset that I stopped here. Well, I made it to both Cherokee and Hemlock Falls. I didn't feel the falls needed any commentary on my part, so I just let the pictures and video speak for themselves. Now all that's left is the long hike back up to the top of the canyon and then home. So I'll check in back at the top, make sure I make it all the way, and we'll see you then. Well, that hike down to the falls successfully completed, safely returned back to the parking area and my car that is currently running the air conditioning, and it feels oh so good. And this concludes the Cloudland Canyon backpacking, camping, hiking adventure. Hopefully the first of many on this new set of activities that I've chosen for myself, but we will see what the future holds. For now, it's been a good time. Thanks for sharing.